and two, I would have never met Frankie. So Robert, we really thank you and appreciate for doing that for us. I'd like to introduce to you the host of CLTV's Metro Mix, the lovely and charming Miss Leanne Trotter.
Thank you, Frankie. All right. We are so happy to be here for a very important day in the city of Chicago. We are here to honor Frankie Knuckles. He has done so much for the music industry. He has done so much for the city of Chicago. We have so much to thank him for. And so from all of us, Frankie, the people of Chicago and music lovers around the world, we just want to thank you for helping us make Chicago and house music #1. And it's about time he got the recognition. It is about time. Now, there are some very important people that made this street dedication possible, and I would like to first we start with Alderman Madeline Haycock, who is the Alderman of the 2nd Ward.
Thank you. I don't think you should have started with me, though. We should have started with our state representative, Ken Duncan. I'm sorry. I think you should have said first word.
I thought I was going to be last, Leanne, or at least going according to the program. What can I say? Randy Crumpton, where's Randy? Where's Randy hiding? Right over there. About 2 years ago now, when I was elected, and all these great ideas come into your head as an elected official. You want to try to add some value. You want to try to help people. Randy came along and said, look here, both of us absolutely love house music. And Frankie Knuckles' name has always been synonymous with house music because of the Warehouse. And we started talking back then on what it is that we could do to celebrate one of our very own. Someone that whenever he was just billed on the invitation, you knew that there was going to be some level of ecstasy, some aphrodisiac, some level of pleasure psychologically and physically. The right gyrations, again, no pretensions, just good old-fashioned fun. The only problem was you couldn't drink the punch. Right? But I think that's as legend has it as that. Well, anyway, what Randy Crumpton pointed out here, if you have a program, you should read that. I think that sums it up in terms of what the feeling was, what the mindset was, and all the people that were born around the early 80s, maybe because of Frankie in the 70s, who are spinning records and probably don't even have an idea of who our legendary godfather of house music is. And so today, what today is about, it's about celebration. It's about giving someone who's given so much, giving them their flowers right today while they are alive and well. One of our own. I just got off the phone with Barack Obama. He is out of town, so he won't be there. He won't be here here tonight. But he expresses his sincerest gratitude and support, as you know, before. I'll be real quick so we won't get rained on, but I'm here to say, Frankie Knuckles, I love you, I respect you, and we're going to keep on keeping on. Just keep spinning, baby. All right. Leon Trotter.
All right, State Representative Ken Duncan. Okay, now we want to talk to Alderman Walter Burnett from the 27th Ward.
Thank you very much. I also like to say that it's an honor for me to be out here in celebration of Frankie Knuckles and all that he has contributed to the city of Chicago. A lot of you all know that Frankie Knuckles put house music on the map. Not just in this city, but all over the country. And I want you to know that, a lot of the venues that Frankie worked in, when he gave a set, when he had people to come to his facility, it was all about love. And it was love for everyone, no matter where you came from, what race you was, what your sexuality was. If you were bad, if you was good, you came there, you had a good time, and you partied, and nobody looked at you any differently. So I like to commend Frankie for being that non-discriminatory type of DJ in the city of Chicago and bringing the love to the city. But also, I like to thank Frankie for giving many other young people who have followed him the hopes and the dreams that they can grow up and they can be somebody with the music that their parents didn't like. With the music that people used to complain about, Frankie has actually given people hope. He's given people vision to want to stretch out. And not only here in Chicago, Frankie plays music all over the world. All over the world. About 3 years ago, I'm in Greece, and I go to a little joint in Greece, and here they are playing house music in Greece. So I just like to thank Frankie Knuckles for giving people the opportunity to enjoy themselves. Just think of all of the people who used to come to his facilities, used to come to his parties. Just think if they weren't there, how much trouble they probably would have been into if they were not partying with Frankie Knuckles. If they didn't have a constructive environment to have a good time and let themselves loose in. And I tell you something, unfortunately, our city is getting away from that. We're not giving our young people an outlet nowadays, and we need to get back to that. We need to let our young people have an opportunity to be able to dance, to be able to party, and to be able to enjoy themselves in this city. So, Frankie Knuckles, I want to thank you for the opportunity that you have given not only myself, but many other people when we were young back then, back in the day, an opportunity to dance, to have a good time, to get our clothes all sweaty, to push up on somebody else and talk to them, and get a date. You know, we want to thank you very much, and God bless you for your contribution to the city of Chicago and to all across this world, Frankie. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, how can I talk back? Now I know what my daughter was doing, Frankie. I wasn't there, but my daughter really, truly enjoyed it. That's all I've been hearing is about Frankie Knuckles from my daughter, Tanya. And I want to tell you something. Last week I had the opportunity to be interviewed and be on the radio from my office in London, England, about Frankie Knuckles. And I was so proud to do that, Frankie. That's what I did for him last week. So, he is known all over the world. And you're aldermen. Some of you had a chance to do that for him. But right now, I want to read a resolution from the city of Chicago that we did, I think, on June 23rd, Walter and I. And it goes like this. Whereas Frankie Knuckles has made... Now, you ready to hear all of this? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. Oh, well, I got to listen to my boss back here, Ken. Okay. I'm going to read it anyway. Yeah. Whereas Frankie Knuckles has made defining contributions to the music industry for more than 30 years and has been dubbed by his peers and adoring fans the godfather of house. And whereas Frankie Knuckles began his studies in commercial art and costume design and ultimately realized his true calling and talent was spinning records, at which time he began performing at various legendary venues in New York City. And whereas Frankie relocated to the great city of Chicago in 1977. Oh, you came around the time I came. Good. And established his mark as he began to engage in the foundation of the new musical form known as house music, and became the first DJ for the Warehouse and the After Hours nightclub where house music derived its name. And whereas Frankie Knuckles moved into the recording studio where his production and remixing skills excelled, in which allowed him to produce and remix songs for noted artists that included Diana Ross, Luther Vandross, Michael Bolton, Mary J. Blige, The Sounds of Blackness, Michael Jackson, Tony Braxton, Janet Jackson, the Pet Shop Boys, and many others. Now all of you ought to know that. And whereas Frankie Knuckles has served as the governor and trustees for the New York City chapter of the National Academy of Record Arts and Science, and whereas Frankie expanded talents as an artist, allowed him to release 2 albums, Beyond the Mix and Welcome to the Real World, on the Virgin Records and label. Whereas Frankie Knuckles was inducted in the City of Chicago's Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame in 1996 and has devoted his time in various AIDS charities as well as being a force in the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the mayor and members of the City Council of the City of Chicago, do hereby designate August 25th, 2004 as Frankie Knuckles Day in Chicago and encourage all citizens to celebrate with this pioneer of house music and hereby extend our best wishes for his continued success in the music industry, and be it further resolved that a suitable copy of this resolution be presented to Frankie Knuckles. This is by Richard M. Dare. Richard M. Daly. I did say Dare. Mayor James J. Lasky, City Council, City of Clerk. Walter is going to tell you about the sign that he's going to present to Frankie in just a moment.
Well, this actually used to be my ward. Now it's Madeline Hitchcock's ward, but we still share these areas, and we work very closely together. And we work very closely on trying to do these things for Frankie, along with Randy Crumpton and State Rep Ken Duncan and Barack Obama, because we thought it was very special. And one of the things I usually say at a sign dedication, and in this instance I'm going to say it for Alderman Madeline Hitchcock, by the power invested in her, by the thousands of people in her ward, and the citizens of the City of Chicago, we now therefore dedicate this section of Jefferson Street as the honorary, the godfather of house music, Frankie Knuckles Way! No crying, Frankie, no crying, man. Now see, Frankie thinking about how he can make a remix out of this here, right now. He's listening to all those hand claps and whistling and things.
That's great, and he's alive.
Thank you all so much. I'm still completely overwhelmed by all of this, and each and every one of my friends, and you all know who you are, have asked me how I feel about this, and I pretty much told you all I'm having difficulty wrapping my brain around this. The best thing about this is, as you said, I am alive to see this and have it happen, and this is probably one of the greatest things that could ever happen to anyone, and I thank the City of Chicago. I thank each and every one of you for making this happen, and even greater is I get to share with all of my friends and all my family here and all you people here, and I love you all so much. Thank you very much. And just one last thing in closing. I think when I moved back here 5 years ago, it was probably the best decision I could have ever made. Oh, yes. Yes. And I promise I'll never stray again. Thank you all very much.
Love you, Frankie. Now, we're not over yet. Mayor Daley wanted to be here but couldn't. And so, he sent William Greaves, who is the Director and Community Liaison for the Chicago Commission on Human Relations Advisory Council on Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Issues. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. And I'm here today actually to represent Mayor Daley and also to represent the Chicago Gay and Lesbian Hall of Fame, because Mr. Knuckles was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1996. We got it. And one of the things, I don't have to tell you who Frankie is, so half my speech is gone. But I consulted a very important person in my life, Laura Branch, who is a DJ, and she considers herself one of Frankie's mentorees, his disciples. And here's what she had to say. Frankie Knuckles is more than just an artist. He's a Chicago legend. He has an ability to weave magic with his music, a magic that captures people's minds, hearts, and creative spirit. Through his magic, Frankie has built an international culture of inclusion and the celebration of life and spirituality. It's no wonder why he is so revered, because the music Frankie creates is a reflection of his warm and generous spirit. In Frankie Knuckles, Chicago's gay and lesbian audiences help to nurture a talent with seemingly boundless potential. He has repaid them by providing countless hours of self-affirming musical involvement, by remaining accessible, by lifting up the people around him, and by his continuing support for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender communities around the world. Thank you, Frankie, for everything you've done.
And one more important recognition coming from Michael O'Connor, who is a legislative aide to the Representative Connie Howard.
Well, first I'd like to thank you. Being the first openly gay African American legislative aide here in the state of Illinois, I am really proud, personally and professionally, to be able to go along with the aldermen and the other as far as elected officials, and recognizing, which took a long time to recognize, Mr. Frankie Knuckles. At 18, instead of going to my prom, I went to the warehouse. I was at the warehouse. Okay? I was at the warehouse. My boss, State Representative Howard, basically wanted me to say, as a member of the state of Illinois House of Representatives 93rd General Assembly, I am pleased to take this opportunity to congratulate Frankie Knuckles, the godfather of house music, on the occasion of Chicago Mayor Richard M. Daley proclaiming that August 25th, 2004 is Frankie Knuckles Day, and Jefferson Street between Van Buren and Adams being named Frankie Knuckles Way. And my staff, myself, Michael O'Connor, and I joined with 2nd Ward Alderman Madeline Hedgecock, Frankie's family, friends, and community, and other citizens of the city of Chicago and state of Illinois in wishing him continued good health, ongoing success in the musical entertainment world. I think it should be also noted that Frankie Knuckles in the warehouse and U.S. Studios gave a safe place for people who were turned out of other areas before it was trendish to mix. So I want people to understand the importance of that. Not only was he a creative genius in terms of music, he was also one of the pioneers that tried to put Chicagoans, regardless of race, creed, color, or sexual orientation, together in one place to have a good time. Thank you.
All right, we're about over here, Frederick. I'm motioning you over here. All right. But before we do, let's give another big round of applause for Mr. Frankie Knuckles.
Before we do that, Leanne, we forgot to unveil the sign. So, 9 and the 4.
Frankie, you won't have to stand on the pole like me, man. All right, we got to get him before the ring. Sorry. All right. Okay, so the power invested in the aldermen of the 2nd Ward, 60,000 people, Mayor Daley, the city of Chicago. Therefore, dedicate this street as Frankie Knuckles.
Somebody get out there!
Oh my God.
Anybody else taller than me? Yeah, try this one, Duncan. Whatever. Try this one. Right, hold that. Actually, this is about the same length. Who else is taller than me? Try this one. You need a taller person? Okay, all right. We might make it. We need some light. What are tall people when you need them?
There you go. There you go.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, there you go.